Prisma Health and USC School of Medicine to help us understand why simple acts like walking together can have such a profound impact on our mental and emotional well-being. Doctor, thank you so much for being with us.
We are so thrilled to have you. You know, this morning I got a text from a friend of mine who is in the Leesville area, and she said that something unexpected happened. She knew she would be emotionally moved seeing the monks, but the other benefit for her was that she met neighbors that she had never seen before because they live in such a rural area. Can you talk a little bit about just the impact and the resilience that an event like this can bring to a community?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It's just incredible what these monks are doing for our communities, kind of walking for peace through these mindful practices. So I think, what really these kinds of acts really do for the community is that it brings in that shared sense of purpose. The cohesion builds trust. It also gives them that sense of togetherness, all of which builds resilience.
Walking slow and intentional really has such a beautiful impact, maybe one than more people realize. So just talk a little bit about the importance of being intentional with that act.
Yeah. So if one looks at kind of all of these mindful practices, be it mindful walking, mindful breathing, mindful meditation, they do have this focus on breath and the movement. So when you synchronize your breath along with the movement, the lifting of the leg to kind of putting it on the floor or the ground, you really are bringing that to the awareness of the human brain. So that focused act in itself can have a very calming effect on the nervous system.
So that really kind of speaks to how walking with mindful intention is really different, or a meditative walk is different from just going for a walk, right?
Absolutely. So if you looked at kind of, as we are sitting here, we're all breathing, but we're not even cognizant of the fact that we are breathing about 20 times in a given minute. So when the brain, as we are sitting here, you are kind of focused on asking me the question. I'm focused on kind of listening to the question and answering those questions. So there is that focused brain, and then there are about 150 folders that are at the back of the brain, which are also open at the same time. What am I going to cook for dinner today? What kind of, why the worry that I have for my parent or my child, taking them to the doctor kind of sometime next week, trying to see what is my presentation look like on Monday. So all of these folders are all open. That intentionality that you set for the synchrony between the breath and the movement, that truly kind of that awareness that you create also helps the wandering part of the brain to stay focused.
I love that.
I know. Now, for those viewers, including myself, whenever I'm dealing with stress or anxiety, a release for me is just getting outside and moving. And mindful walking, like you're talking about, how does that kind of help regulate the nervous system and really calm someone's mind?
So what's interesting for me, so I kind of was raised in the Eastern Hemisphere, kind of ingrained, the Eastern philosophy is ingrained in my DNA. Coming to the West, kind of learned kind of the science of neuroscience. So trying to look at the confluence of the two really helped me understand the mind, body, spirit kind of connectivity. So I look at it as kind of a tripod, the three stools of kind of the tripod of life. If all of them are in balance, we have good health. If even one of them is out of sync or out of balance, you are not at ease, we have dis-ease. So most of these lifestyle diseases that we look at, whether it's depression, anxiety, cardiovascular heart disease, diabetes, all of these are lifestyle diseases. So one is kind of looking at stressful life events that impacts us, which then plays a role in how the mind processes it, which then speaks to the physical kind of components of it, whether it's physical health or mental health. There is a bidirectionality. So diabetes and depression go hand in hand, Parkinson's and depression go hand in hand, cancer and depression, I can keep going.
Right,
Everything has a correlation between this kind of connect. So when you kind of start to stay focused and do these kinds of mindfulness practices, it not only calms the nervous system, but also has implications on the neuroendocrine. Hormone levels get regulated, immune markers get regulated. So remember, all of these are inflammatory diseases as well. So they all play a role in kind of not just calming the mind, but also having systemic manifestations in terms of the entire body.
Well, connecting those dots really helps to explain why our community and communities across the country are having such an emotional reaction to this ritual. Talk a little bit about, we've heard so much about isolation, especially since COVID. So talk a little bit just briefly about how rituals like walking really help to deal with isolation and depression and improve emotional well-being.
So when you look at isolation, which COVID did for a vast majority of people, even kind of, people who really didn't have any issues going on, that really kind of takes you away from that connectedness. It's a negative state. So when you start to have this community feel with these walks, what that ends up doing is not just improving your physical activity, but there's also the social interaction. Man is a social being. We really need that connectedness, which helps uplift emotions. It helps kind of boost your mood, brain health, and eventually gets you motivated.
I love that.
And I feel like that does tie in with people who aren't even walking, but just going out there and watching this incredible event happen. And for something that is so positive, I think as a community, we all needed something to really uplift us like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, really speaks to the benefits and the importance of mental health and overall well-being. What a great example they're setting for all of us.
Thank you.
All right, Dr. Mira Narasimhan, thank you. It's always wonderful to see you.
Thank you so much.
We thank you very much.